welcome back. Today we're going over I Want to Be Like Mike, because I want to be like Mike Dean, big up my goat. And where should we start? So we've got Serato sample right here. I'll go over the original sample.
Oh, my funny.
I isolated the vocals, so if I show all,
My funny Valentine.
I time stretched it so that it could fit the BPM. So if I turn it here, if I do that, so
My funny Valentine.
for the certain pads, I changed the levels for each, depending on how loud they are in general. Like this one's got no attack, but the level's way higher. Same with the levels being lower, but the attack having 10 milliseconds on here. They are all to -11 because they all need to fit the BPM somehow. They're all in this version, so it cuts off, so I could have I could have little samples. Effects wise, I've got quite a lot on it. I've got 3 different types of EQs. I'll go over them now. So I've got one for the mid, one for the high, and then one for the low, just ducking a little bit of like the higher mids. And then I've got a Valhalla room that is just directly inputted. This is a stock room. I think this is the default. It sounded basic and it sounded very nice with the vocals. So if I show it without and pull up Serato sample,
My funny Valentine.
and then obviously you heard it before with it. Wrong button.
My funny Valentine.
And there's a lot of, especially since it's vocals, it's really nice that it's very on the end. You can hear the reverb when it stops, and obviously this is just vocals. Synced up to 150 and turned up 2 semitones to make it C. It's in C minor. I don't know why it says major, but these are the chops that I made.
My funny Valentine.
And with that, I layered it with a very nice piano from Altaria. Very basic. I turned up the reverb. It didn't have any reverb on it. There's a limiter on it just to make sure that nothing is peaking, especially with the volume that it's at. There's nothing on the piano. It's already well mixed, and that's what the intro sounds like.
My funny Valentine.
For the chords, it's a C minor with a passing chord of a D sharp major into a D major, and then into, I don't know what this is, I can't lie. It's a very weird chord, but I did this chord by ear, but these were just playing around with a C minor, getting rid of the 5th and adding an octave on top, and it's the same with these chords, so they match along.
I was in the shower. What did you say?
I said don't come in because I'm recording stuff.
Why are you using my headphones?
Because I left mine at college. Sorry guys. Do you want to come say hi? Come say hi. Come say hi. Come say hi. It's a bit awkward. You just coming in.
Hello.
Oh, say it louder. Say it louder.
Hello.
That's my movie for you guys. I'm just going over my tracks. I know, when are you setting off? Alright. Lovely introduction. But yeah. And this goes along for, what was it? 12 bars. And then we've got our little hi-hats coming in. Two little patterns, one with a little roll in the middle with the velocities changing and then not changing, to then a roll in the middle to then not changing, changing velocities and then not changing. Just creating just this variation in general. The hi-hat in general, again, just it's just a hi-hat that I found inside of my drum packs, and I think this was from Kits for Beats, and obviously it's in a pattern event, just so it's easier to lay them all out. The snare sounds, it's just from the same drum pack. Might want to change the mix on that, that's really hurt my ears. Patterns wise, it's just, it does change each time. I changed the actual, step resolution, I now know the name of that, to 1 every 32, because this note here, if you play it like that, it's too early, so when it's played here it's perfectly on time. Right, let's dissect this verse. We've got this road sound that I added. It's the same chords with the velocity changing, going up onto the melodic notes. Obviously I added this little note first, so these three play on they don't play on their own, but there's just a little bit more emphasis in there. It's a bit of variation. I thought it sounded very cool when I did it, and with it rolling in properly, just adding that just bit of texture that the piano doesn't have itself. I also changed the piano for when it comes in, to the passing chords disappearing because it clashes with the roads, with it, especially with it rolling, and you know, having the passing chord as the roads. So it's still there and you can still hear it. So if I just do this. And the sound, nylon plus Rhodes, stock, I don't change anything about it. There's no sound designing by me. The kick, it's just a, it's this, it was originally this like loop, but I change it so it's just this, so it cuts off, just took one of the kicks. This is side chained with the 808s, which is just, I believe, a Spins. Yeah, it is a Spins 808. Yeah, having that really hard punchiness about it. Mixing wise, an EQ to cut off the muddiness part to the 808, and a, like I said, the side chained compress. So if I just solo the two, you can see the when it's just the 808 by itself, there's less compression, but with the kick on its own, you can see the compressors compressing nothing. It's just adding that extra punchiness here. So again, in the full track. Forgot to mention the hi-hats and the snares, these two are all going through a drum bus that has an EQ cutting out some of the low frequencies and a compressor just to make sure that everything is staying nice and smooth. Make sure that everything's like nicely compacted and nothing's like overkilling everything. So again, in the mix. Structure wise, got rid of the 808, got rid of the hi-hat, snare and the regular piano, so just the Rhodes and the sample. Changing the chops, little cut here just to add that little bit extra variation, showing that it's in a different part of the song. And obviously it's changes between every single one, apart from this one which goes back to the regular start. And then the hi-hats and the snare come back in. I added this little like roll of the sample just to add that extra little bit of tension when it goes in. And you can see that in this one as well, the cut-offs are very significant. So if you hear it isolated, there's just that room there for it to rest and, you know, really sounding unsettling when it disappears. I cut the hi-hats so that this snare would really pop before it resolves back into the beat. So and then we got the lead. The lead is just a synth lead that I found, stock, nothing changed about it. For the actual lead melody, it's just following along the chord progression C. Obviously adding the variation with these notes here, so imagine them without them. I mean, that's following along the chord progression, but obviously adding the variation to just make it sound more synthy and more like an actual lead. And that just repeats. Mix wise, it has a little EQ cutting out some of the low and cutting out a tiny bit of the highs, just to make it just settle in a little more so it's not clashing with anything. And it also just makes it sound a lot more analogy, and just like it was an actual real instrument recorded instead of it just being a virtual instrument. There is variation in the melody. The A changes to an F just to add that little bit of variety. and if it decides to not completely bug out, the rolls with some of the samples, they carry over. For some reason, this is being time stretched. Don't know what's going on there. Give it a little fix. And then we got this augmented brass, just to add a little bit more bass to the song in general, just so it doesn't stay repetitive. It is a augmented bass demo, Wide and Proud preset. I didn't change anything about it. I just really like the sound. It's just octaves of the two chords, C and D. So if you listen to it solo, does have an EQ on it, boosting a little bit of the high and getting rid of those frequencies that aren't needed. And obviously what it sounds like in the full mix. Then with my Prophet 5, I found this strings preset. I didn't change anything about the sound design. I really liked it. It's the same chords as the piano without the passing, with it cutting off slightly at the end, just so it has that extra time to resolve since the sustain's quite high. I don't believe they are the same actually. I might be a liar, because this is just a D major without anything going up the octaves. So if you think about it as the harmonics, or the high notes, so it's got that rising about it instead of it properly dropping off the same as the piano, which has no fifth and it's also higher. It's got that rising instead of it dropping, where with it being like this. So with that, this is what it sounds like in the mix. So structure wise, brought the piano back in, sample. This is slightly different. It cuts off quicker for the final one.
Funny.
And it has a gap in between. So where obviously the second note would be, it just cuts off again, variation.
Funny. Funny.
And resolves very nicely back into it. I found this riser, that sounds very cool. Gives it a proper ambient riser sound, and it sounds very menacing, and it just works really well with the track itself. If So to go over this, obviously I got rid of the sample. Down here we've got this new bass that I added in, a very, very dark saw bass that's played very, very low down. See, if I solo it for you guys. You can see that it's different to the regular melody. It goes down to a B. Instead of it going up and then back to the D, so it resolves back to the C, it goes to the 7, and then it goes back. I brought in the chords from before, except I added in the passing notes of the previous verse chords. It's not a chord, it's just the two notes. So this is what it sounds like by itself. and it's the same octaves with the brass and keeping the piano in. So this is what it sounds like altogether. I also raised the automation of the Prophet just because before it's working not too high because there's so much going on, especially with the mids with the Rhodes, which it kind of leads into the mid highs, which the Prophet 5 also does. So it's like filling in the shoes that it was playing before. Yeah, I kept the two little just to keep part of the sample and to just I just really liked it. I thought it sounded quite cool. Yeah. We've got the same coming back in with, I believe, the exact same leads as before, apart from when it goes to the F, it goes down to the B, the same as the bass, to add variation. Also, it's turned up slightly higher just because it plays a bigger role than it did there. It does change with the sample. I added these, like, the singular notes just to come in extra before the electric guitar comes in, which I'll go over in a second. Just adding variation so it isn't just repeating itself. With the electric guitar, it follows the same kind of premise, except that when it goes to the A, it rolls down in these like tiny notes. Also, this note is the same as the other one, so it has a very late transition. Obviously, you don't hear the resolve because if I solo it, you'll be able to hear it. And similarly to the other lead, it goes to the F just so it matches. The notes are like practically the same, which just adds this nice layer with these two specifically. So if I play them together. And I changed the automation on the riser just because with nothing else here, it was easier for the riser to fill up the spots, where here it clashed with a lot of frequencies since the fact that it was so loud, so turning it down definitely was the right play. And this is what the riser sounds like. Then it goes back to how it was in the intro. So I had the same riser, but this is like a fake one because, as you can see, this has way more volume, where this is cut shorter by a full bar. Just to add this fake of you think that there's going to be a rise, well, as in like it's going to resolve back into the beat, but it doesn't. Also, there is some mono delay automation on the vocals that has been sent through. If I go onto the mix control and show it, if I can scroll down. Yeah, you can see it here, which is quite cool. Extend that for when I export it, and yeah. Am I missing anything? Full mix wise, there's nothing on the master. I turn off the brick thingy. The drum bus I mentioned, and every other EQ, and with the mono delay, it's just a 1/8 delay. I turned on the mix and the feedback a bit, 6/7, woo, and yeah, I made sure that it wasn't overdoing it in terms of the volume. Because with a lot of delay automation, when it comes to where is it? There we go. When it comes with rising it, it can turn up the volume and sound really out of place. Where I made sure that it didn't. It was just right at the perfect point where it wasn't clashing with the amount of volume that you were hearing, so it didn't increase. It stayed the same and just slowly faded out. Yeah, overall opinion, I absolutely love this track. I love the outro. It sounds so cool. I think it's the best track that I've done. I think that I'm very impressed with how it sounds. I love this electric guitar layering with the lead. I think it just adds so much power to the track, and it just gives us this whole vibe of just dark and mysterious, and it just sounds so cool, and I'm very proud of how it sounds. But apart from that, wicked.